Hi, my name is Caitlin Harbaugh, and the technology that I chose for this video or for this assignment was Ziplet. Uh, so the case study said that Mrs. Smith wants to find a technology that'll help her better utilize exit slips for her English language arts class. Her goals are that she wants to read students' responses and use that information to help her finalize her plans for the next day's lesson. At the end of the week, she wants to be able to track how individual students and the class as a whole have grown in their understanding of the lesson. And she also wants to give feedback to individual students about how well they're actually understanding each lesson. Her challenges, she has three main challenges. One is that it's difficult to precisely evaluate each student's understanding because students don't usually write much. It's difficult to get the bigger picture understanding of trends and patterns in students' understandings because it's difficult to keep that in mind as she looks through 20 individual slips of paper. And it's difficult to track individual students and the whole class group growth over the course of a week. So Ziplet is an app or website that allows you to create and look at exit slips made by students to help you better gauge the way that your class is learning and taking in information. You can use multiple choice, short response, scale responses, and reaction responses. Some of the features are that you can create a class and then ask all sorts of different types of questions for exit slips. You can use a multiple choice, short response, scale responses, and reaction responses. You can respond to students when they answer the question. And you can make announcements and respond to your own questions, which will notify up to 50 students. But that is a premium feature as far as I know. How Ziplet helps deal with Mrs. Smith's challenges. You can have more than one type of response for a question, so you can use scale and text responses together to get a better idea of how students are doing with more emphasis on elaboration. There are charts and response filters that can help get a better overall picture of how students are doing. You can refer to other students and help each other look through exit slips and give feedback to each other to better help students. And to demonstrate some of this, I have the app. So I signed up using Google, and I signed up as a teacher. So here you have like all your classes. I only have one, and I labeled it exit slip. But you can't, and then it says one question, one total response. You also have a class code, so your students can gain access to the class using the code and also gain access to specific slips. I have 0 members because I don't have students. You can ask a question, create a class, or import classes. So you can create a class and it'll ask you what type of class you want to set up. There's a Connect class and a Go class. The Go class it doesn't have student accounts. And it's optimized for shared devices, and it allows quick access with a class pin. But the Connect class, the students do have to have an account, and they can set one up. You can reply and react to student responses, and they have automatic reminders and notifications. So I'm going to set up a Connect one. You can enter the class name, so it can be Smith's ELA. You can also have an image. And then you can go to the class, and up here, you can post an announcement, you can share with students, you can go to class settings, So you can change like the class type. So it shows you the class type, the access code. You can add tags. You can also archive and delete classes. And you can change the image of the class. You can manage members, and you can archive classes with the 3 dots up in the corner. Also up in the corner, there's a purple box with chat bubbles in it, and you can ask a question, and it gives you some like question options if you need help. So favorite questions, popular questions, daily bell ringers, lesson reflection, relationship builders, social and emotional learning, end of term reviews and end of term reflections, topic starters, icebreakers, formative assessment questions. And so we're going to ask how are you understanding the material this week? And then you click next, and it shows you the types of responses. And it says if selecting 2 types, one must be text. So you can do text and reaction or text and scale. You can change these from very high to very low, or you can switch them. You can do text and multiple choice. And you can allow students to select more than one option, and then you have to add the choices. I would suggest for the exit slips that Miss Smith would want to do, she could use a scale. And you can set ask and close times. So for the closed, it can be the end of the day, after 3 days, after 5 days, or you can pick a time, which you can set a time. So we're gonna do, so say the class is on Monday, we can do the next day at 9 a.m. or whenever the class starts. So then that's when it would close. And then you can do ask now, save for later, or pick a time. You can allow anonymous responses, and you can save to favorites. So here's an example of what the students would see. How are you understanding the material? You can click, and then they can choose on the scale how they're understanding it, and they can respond in text for more elaboration. And then it shows the live questions, which closes on March 21st at 9 a.m. And there's also scheduled. These questions will be shared with all class members at the specified date and time. Planned, which are these questions are yet to be shared with the class, and then closed, which is where they're no longer allowed to answer. And if you click on this, you can see when would you like to gather responses, so you can gather them on whatever day you pick. For my other class, I didn't put a specified time, so I asked a random question, and I don't have any students, but those charts and response filters would be right under there, and it's web only, so you can only access the charts on your computer. You can select all and reply to all of them, and it will send the same message to a group up to 50 students. You can try it free for 30 days, but other than that, you would need a prescription or a subscription. There's also replies, but again, save time by replying to similar responses in one action. Use replies to acknowledge students and provide feedback. And then there's Teacher Pulse, which is where you can join another teacher's class by going to classes, creating a class, and then sharing a code with other teachers. Here we have Refer a Teacher. You can share the link and send it to their email and then hit send. And then you can also look at your referrals. You can also look at your profile. You can upgrade. You can look at your favorite questions and your favorite responses. And then there's also a logout option, a help center, more resources, and a support request where you can request support. And you can also import classes from Google Classroom or Teams. And then you can reorder your classes. So you can drag and drop. And then it'll show up in that order. And yeah, that's why I chose Ziplet for my tech demo for week 9. Thanks for watching.